Paris at the turn of the century, gay Paris. Pleasure seekers came from the four corners of the earth to sample its delights, its culture, its beauty, its architecture. But above all, a gaiety and sense of freedom that lightened the heart and gladdened the soul of visitors and Parisians alike. And nowhere more than the Moulin Rouge, the home of the French music hall, the Can-Can, and one of the greatest, yet perhaps least known artists in the history of the theatre. Joseph Pujol, a unique act, the highest paid artist of his generation. Even the great Sarah Bernhardt couldn't command the astronomical salary the Moulin Rouge paid to this amazing performer. This is a sincere tribute to a very real person and his remarkable talent. Yet what he did, we can all do.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to commence my performance tonight with a few impressions. First, a little girl.
For the first time in history, the Moulin Rouge had medical attendants standing by. What did this man do that could reduce Paris to hysteria every night? Quite simply...
Thank you, the mother-in-law.
He farted.
The bride on her wedding night. The morning after. The dressmaker tearing 2 yards of calico.
What a success story. It began when the young Pujol, while doing his military service, discovered his unique gift.
And now the opening cannonade of the Battle of Austerlitz. Load, aim, fire. A monk of the silent order communicating with his friends.
Song Major. Get those boots oiled.
Oh.
Carry on.
Very funny, Pujol. I hear you're leaving us tomorrow. Well, I've got the perfect place for you to spend your last day in the army. Very lovely. Very lovely. Stop. Hard luck. All right, you lot. 5 minutes.
And so Private Pujol, barrack room entertainer, left the army and returned to his father's bakery. Like so many men returning home, he bitterly disappointed his father by telling him he had no wish to continue in the family business. But worse was to follow.
The stage, that ungodly profession. You will be buried in unconsecrated ground.
I'm sorry, Father. I've made up my mind.
But the business? What about the business?
I don't care. There's more to life than making donuts. I'm going on the stage.
But what can you do? I mean, you've been a baker all your life.
I shall play my trombone, play my violin, and I shall recite comic verses.
All right, then. You better take half a dozen of these.
Father, please.
We can't.
No.
In a fortnight, you will be starving.
And he was right. For 2 years, unsuccessfully, Pujol toured small theatres in the provinces, until one day he was appearing at a theatre near his old barracks.
Give us the battle of Austerlitz!
All right, I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been such a wonderful audience that I'm going to reward you with a few impressions. First, I would like to give you my impression of the opening cannonade in the Battle of Austerlitz. And now, the mayor of your fair town. The mayor is. And now, for the very first time in history,
After my theatre, I shall make sure that you will never perform on a public stage again.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on any stage, I would like to give you my impression of the opening session of the Congress of Vienna. See if you can spot the various nationalities by their accent.
Yes, a star was born. Well, if not born, he was, at least, a twinkle in the audience's eye.
Yes, I know. Right.
I wonder, do you think I might have yours? I would just like to say how much I enjoyed your performance this evening.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, it was most uplifting. You are truly a virtuoso.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I've never done it before. Only to amuse friends.
It's wonderful. You will be a great star.
Are you a critic?
No, I'm a butcher.
Same thing as far as I'm concerned.
My father works in an abattoir. I keep a tally of the number of carcasses that leave the abattoir.
Really?
And make sure it equates with the same number of animals that went in.
It's a task of great responsibility. To whom do I dedicate my signature?
Oh, Marie-Therese.
Certainly. To Marie-Therese, so sensitive and so beautiful. Most sincerely, Joseph Pujol.
Thank you. I shall treasure it.
Is it permitted to offer you a small tisane?
Delighted.
Perhaps your parents would care to attend the performance tomorrow night. As an artist, I'm entitled to free tickets.
You are most kind. But I suggest you change your performance slightly.
Oh, why?
They are also the mayor and mayoress.
So Joseph Pujol and Marie-Therese were married. It's thought that on this occasion he did not provide his own accompaniment. Pujol, a whole new career in front of him, or behind him, spent the next few years perfecting his act. Le Pétomane, the only artist who pays no authors royalties. Accompanied on the pianoforte by his good lady. He also found time to father 3 children. They joined the act, performing charming little dances to their father's accompaniment. A tasteful, delicate performance that today would give a child psychologist nightmares. By now, Pujol was ready for the big time. Paris, an audition for the one and only Moulin Rouge. In front of its owner, the legendary Monsieur Zidler.
Right, Yvette. Who's next? Who did that?
I did, sir. Allow me to introduce myself, Joseph Pujol, Le Pétomane.
Where are all the others?
He's driven them all away.
I'm a very busy man. I can give you 2 minutes. What do you do?
I, sir, am an impressionist.
Get out. I've got hundreds of them.
One moment, sir. I am not an ordinary impressionist. I am unique. In fact, I'll go further. I'm fantastic. I am an anal impressionist.
How?
Permit me to explain. The good Lord has seen fit to bless me with an elastic anus, such that I am able to open and close it at will. Consequently, I can inhale vast quantities of air.
You breathe through your arse?
In a way, yes. And by controlling the muscles, I can expel the air, and so produce a variety of different sounds.
Now, just one moment. Let me get this quite straight. You're telling me that you can fart.
That is a word I prefer not to use. I am an artist. I give demonstrations of petomania. Will you allow me to illustrate them? First, I inhaled the air. Right. I'm ready. Absolutely unnecessary. My performance is odorless. One thing the critics cannot say of Le Pétomane's performance is that it stinks. First, I give you the tenor voice, the baritone, the bass, the soprano, and the harmony. And now, sir, in the key of C sharp minor,
that's fantastic. Can you play La Marseillaise? Right. You're booked.
So Zidler signed him on the spot, and he opened that same night. He was an instant success.
Right, faithful old rover, the sheepdog.
I'm not following him. It's ridiculous.
Don't catch your tail in the front gate.
How do you expect me to get lost after that? Either you put me on in the first half, or you pay me off now.
I'll return it home after a busy night's hunting.
The Pétomane success was sealed. The newspapers next morning raved about the new attraction. Offers poured in from all over Europe, none of which he could accept because of his exclusive contract with the Moulin Rouge. But there was one thing even the great Zidler had overlooked. The wind-up gramophone and the flat disc had arrived, the new wonder of the age. The world's greatest artists flocked to the studios to be immortalized on wax. Caruso. Dame Clara Butt. And the most famous of them all.
Can we have a sample for balance, please? Would you mind moving a little further away, please? Right. Try the man in the bath. Perfect. Right, quiet everybody. We're going for a take.
Are you ready, my dear?
Yes. Good luck, Joseph.
After 4.
His records sold in their thousands. In 1 week, Debussy doubled his royalties on Clair de Lune. There were, of course, many important personages who couldn't afford to be seen in public witnessing such an act. So, for their benefit, Pujol would give private performances.
And, gentlemen, no trickery. A particular favorite of mine, sir, the San Francisco earthquake.
The Baron Rothschild. Leopold, King of the Belgians. And representing the greatest power on earth, the future King of England. His Royal Highness Edward, Prince of Wales. Pujol's first Royal Command performance.
Thank you, you're most kind. And now, to conclude the evening's entertainment, gentlemen, Your Royal Highnesses, I have enough left for... yes, just one more. Whatever you wish, sir. I will attempt anything within my range.
My mother's Gilly sitting on his bagpipes.
Best him, that's the man to the knife. I give him under the mount to hide you under the dinner table at Fartiste.
We are not amused, Bertie. We are appalled that you should have been present at such a vulgar demonstration. Come kindly remember who you are and who you represent.
But I wasn't the only one, Mamma. King of the Belgians was there.
Was he? Then we shall speak to his mother.
But, Mamma, you don't understand. The man is a phenomenon.
We do not care. He is not appearing at Windsor Castle or anywhere else in our realm. Heaven knows Mr. George Roby is bad enough.
Oh, but, Mamma.
That is enough. We do not wish to hear any more. We have informed the British ambassador that if our national anthem is played in this manner again, there will be a diplomatic incident. We have also requested the return of the OBE you so rashly bestowed on the man. Good night.
Good night, Mamma.
He does you extremely well.
Back at the Moulin Rouge, Pujol was at the height of his career.
From the ditch by the side of the road, we hear the raucous voice of the ugly, repellent old Toad.
But then, as always, with great artists came the first sign of artistic temperament. In this case, a battle with the management of the Moulin Rouge.
It has come to my attention that this afternoon you performed your act at a gingerbread stall in the market.
Quite correct, sir. Merely drumming up business for an old friend. I find it less tiring than signing autographs.
It's not the first time. These free performances must stop. Who's going to pay to come to the Moulin Rouge when they can hear you for nothing? Apart from which, these gratuitous performances are affecting your professional ones. Last night your act only lasted for 5 minutes. You ran out of wind, sir. You were becalmed.
Come, sir. I have never guaranteed the length of performance. It depends on so many things. Temperature, atmospheric pressure, humidity. Surely Diaghilev does not go around measuring the height of Nijinsky's leaps.
May I remind you that I have an exclusive contract.
There is nothing in any contract, sir, that can forbid a man from breaking wind when not on stage.
Your wind, sir, belongs to me.
My wind, sir, belongs to the world. And I shall dispense it where I wish.
You're getting too big for your britches. I shall sue you for breach of contract.
If you do that, sir, I shall merely turn off the gas. You can take a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. If you sue me, sir, I shall never fart in Paris again. Good day to you.
You're not the only one. There are others with your gift.
Oh, then find one.
I shall. Better than you. More versatile.
No, sir. You will find that Pétomanes, like kings, are born, not made.
But Zidler was right. There was no shortage of impersonators. It was not long before one of the 3 theatres at the Moulin Rouge saw the appearance of a new act.
No, she has something hidden under her skirts.
We all have, dear.
No. She is using a mechanical device of some sort.
How dare you? That is libelous.
Very well, then. Remove your skirts.
I am an artiste. If you want that sort of thing, you can go to the Folies Bergère.
Very well, then, madame. I challenge you to a duel. Where? Where are we going?
What are you going to use?
Champagne corks at 20 paces. Gentlemen of the press. Gentlemen of the press, I hereby issue a challenge to this impostor to meet me naked outside the faculty of the Institute of Medical Science.
I refuse.
Very well, then. I shall sue you both for counterfeit and fraudulent imitation.
And we shall sue you, sir, for malicious damages and libel.
The case was heard before the 6th Court of the Civil Tribunal of the Seine, before Maître Richard.
You may cross-examine, Maître Lagasse.
to you, Monsieur Pujol, that you brought this action against the Moulin Rouge in a spirit of malice.
No, sir.
Is it not true that you left Ziegler's employ in bad odor?
If you are acquainted with my publicity, sir, you will know I never leave anywhere in bad odor.
Silence in court.
You are claiming fraudulent imitation. Are you suggesting that this function is exclusive to you? That you hold a monopoly? You've taken out a patent? Only you are allowed to do it?
No, I am not.
Oh, then are you suggesting that we should ask your permission first? Perhaps we should contact you on the telephone, or send you postcards.
I object.
You are being flippant, Maître Lagasse.
I am merely trying to illustrate the nonsense of this man's claim. What he does, we all can do. I can do, you can do. Kings, popes, beggars, and babies can do. If we didn't, we would explode.
I object. My client does not deny the right of all men to expel their bodily gases.
We are all much relieved.
My client's case is that he has taken an elementary function and raised it to an art form. That his genius is being debased by a fraudulent impostor. That the art of petomania is being devalued, thus putting his own livelihood in extreme jeopardy. We request an examination of both parties by the court physician.
I object. Surely you cannot ask this delicate flower of French womanhood, raised in a convent, I may add, who has never so much as removed her outer garment in front of her own husband, to submit to the indignity of the prying eyes of a complete stranger. I suggest that a demonstration in camera of their respective abilities should be sufficient for a man with such perspicacity and wit as your honor.
The demonstration was given in the judge's chambers, after which he gave judgment.
I have listened to the evidence with great interest and have been most entertained in the process by both sides. However, the case for Madame Thibault was somewhat weakened by the discovery of a concealed instrument. Exhibit A. Silence in court. This instrument was cunningly concealed in the nether regions of the said artist, and was played with a great deal of skill on her part. My personal favorite being a swarm of bees sucked up an elephant's trunk. However, no such instrument having been found on the person of Monsieur Pujol, we must conclude that his performance was à la nature, which of course was the basis of his complaint. I therefore find in favor of Monsieur Pujol and against Madame Thibault, who will henceforth cease calling herself La Pétomane.
Pujol, completely vindicated, once again took his rightful position as the only genuine Pétomane. But not at the Moulin Rouge. He opened his own theatre, with confidence.
For the final broadside, we need as many cannons as possible. All together now. Again.
But alas, age was beginning to take its toll. For 30 years he'd given of his best, but now his powers began to diminish. He was no longer a young man. Slowly at first, but noticeable to his vast army of fans, old favourites began to disappear. Some of his repertoire became too dangerous. Accidents began to happen.
Favourite of mine, the ugly, repellent old Toad.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pétomane regrets he is unable to continue his performance. You can get your money back at the box office.
Why don't you retire, my dear? That's the third time this month it's happened. With enough money, we could buy that biscuit factory we saw. It's in a lovely part of the country.
Retire, leave the stage? No, madame, not while there is a breath of wind left in my body. This is a temporary affliction. I shall be as good as ever within a week. Pass me the charcoal biscuits, please.
You can't go on forever. You've had a good run for your money. Very well, my dear. But just do one thing for me. Cut out the 21-gun salute. The doctor strongly advised against it.
No, I can't do that. My public would never allow it. I am prepared to cut down on my performances. Henceforth, I shall only give matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
Events were about to overtake him. It was August 1914. The guns he had so often imitated became a terrifying reality. The competition was too much. Pujol realized this was no time for an act such as his. Europe was plunged into a bloodbath. France looked on in horror as the German advance reached the gates of Paris. He gave his farewell performance on September the 5th, 1914.
And in conclusion, may I thank you all for your support over the years. Good luck, and God bless you. Vive la France!
Yes, as the British Foreign Secretary, Sir Edward Grey, rightly said a few weeks before, the lights were indeed going out all over Europe.